What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassandra. Today we're in the permaculture orchard, and the goal is to just get this flat of mostly herbs and perennial mixes in the ground somewhere out here in between some trees and stuff. We're working on putting in filler in between trees in the permaculture orchard, and we also have some marigolds here that my daughter picked out that I'm going to find spots for. And that's pretty much what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what I got and give you maybe a little bit of a permaculture tour here in the spring in zone 4B. We went to the greenhouse for our first round of kind of things and just seeing what they had. Joe picked up a ton of herbs. I think there are 10 in here. Our greenhouse does 10 herbs for $15. So I'm pretty sure he got 10 of them. He has some mullein here. He's very passionate about his mullein. We saved some seeds from last year, but he wanted some of these, so I think he got 2 of these. Lots of rosemary. Joe really likes this lemon thyme. It's a really good ground cover. It's really good for the orchard, and it smells really good. It helps keep mosquitoes away and things like that. And it's a very fragrant herb. It's really nice for like homemade essential oils and things that we're starting to get into, so we got a lot of that. I think he has some lavender in here too. So this is what we're planting today, just a very small amount of things in here. I also have some onions that are going to need to go in the ground in here, I think. They might end up in raised beds. Yesterday, Joe finished all of the mulching in the orchard, which was great, and I got some planting in the raised beds done. So potatoes are in, and all the shallots are in, and probably 40% of our onions are in, which is great. We're making progress slowly but surely. But then my neighbor gave me yesterday some blackberry plants from her patch that she thinned out, as well as some garlic chives that I'm going to try to find room for in here. But we're going to start with this flat and see how I feel, take a break if needed, and then maybe come back out in a little bit to finish off planting those berries and some of those garlic chives. At this point, I'm very close to full term, but not quite full term. So I'm making sure that I'm working until my body tells me that I need a break, because once contractions kind of kick up, I'm not trying to go into labor before 37 weeks. That's not it. So once my body starts to contract a lot and things like that, I'm taking a lot of breaks. So I'm a lot slower. So this one flat might be it for me today, but that's just the reality of where I'm at currently. So let's go ahead and just kind of get things in the ground. Joe was the master of the permaculture orchard here. He did all of the layout and things. Permaculture has kind of 3 layers of, I guess 3 layers, right? You have your trees, and then you'll have a shrub layer, which are a lot of these berries that we have kind of on either side of these trees. And then you have a ground layer, which is what we're putting in today. This is stuff that just sits on the ground. These are your herbs, your flowers, your vegetables, and things like that. A lot of our vegetables for just the garden season are going to make their way down here, which is why we left these big areas open with no wood chips. That's where all the veggies are going to go. So I'm trying to keep my ground cover in that flat kind of up here and some open spaces like this. We put the orchard in last year, and this year we're really working on just trying to fill in these gaps here in between trees and whatnot to make it easier to take care of, easier to mow, just less maintenance. And that's the whole thing that really led us to a permaculture orchard, is in being what would be best for us as a family, is that eventually it does become very low maintenance by just using wood chips and mulch and using that 3-layer method we were talking about earlier. So we're planting mullein, which is a medicinal type thing. It's really good for like upper respiratory things. So that's what we're adding today, is mostly a lot of like medicinal things that me and my husband want to start kind of learning more about and getting into, making a lot of our own tinctures and oils and things like that. So that's really what's going in today. I have this section behind me here that eventually, probably within the next couple of days, we're going to take the tomato trellises, the cattle panels that we put up last year in the garden, and we're going to move them here in these big empty spaces. We were talking about that very slightly, but I know I want marigolds interplanted with my tomatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and plant my marigolds on either end of these big gaps here. I have 3 of them here, and what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 marigolds that we bought. I'm gonna plant them on either end here, and then we'll be able to put the cattle panels in the middle. It'll leave enough room for my husband to get the tiller in here and do a couple passes with the tiller. We're gonna plant tomatoes on both sides of the cattle panels just like we did last year, and hopefully that'll work really well. And then when I go back to the greenhouse, I will purchase more marigolds most likely to kind of fill in gaps, plant in between. Marigolds are really good for your tomatoes just because the scent of the marigolds keeps some of your pests away and things, and that's what we're always trying to do. Anything organic, we're trying to work with nature here, and interplanting some things like that with your marigolds and your tomatoes creates less work for us hopefully in the end, and is just more natural and things. I'm seeing so many honeybees flying around in here, which is so exciting. Some of our perennial flowers that we put in last year are starting to bloom. We have some irises and some different things coming up, some black-eyed Susans, or brown-eyed Susans rather, that are all starting to come up, which is so exciting. So let's plant these marigolds here as the bees kind of buzz around a little bit. I'm also working on slowly hardening off some plants. I put them just outside the window here because they're going to go back in through the window, but just make my life easier. And they're in the shade today. So this is the first time they're out, so I'm going to be really gentle with them, kind of keep them off in the shade a little bit for a while. And then tomorrow I'll actually probably pull them out, put them up on the deck, get them out into some direct sunlight, and slowly just start getting them acclimated to the sun. That way this weekend we can get these in the ground. But these are some of the best starts I've ever planted. This was my first year putting them in the little milk containers, and it worked so well for me. These are the best looking tomatoes I've ever done. Even my husband said these look really, really great. Every single one of them. It didn't matter on the type of tomato, which makes me super happy. I'm very proud of myself. And then these are some of the cucumbers that we did with Colt, and these look fantastic too. I'm very excited about these. I'm going to go show you guys where we're going to plant these, because these are going to go up on the arch trellis. And I got to get everything watered, the onions and some flowers I planted yesterday in the raised beds watered. It's really hot today. It's like 80 degrees, so we're going to go do that. This is our last and largest batch of ducks, and quantity wise there are 10 in here. We have them out of the brooder now. They're in the back of the coop. Probably in the next 2 weeks we'll put them out in the yard with everybody else, let them free range. We're just waiting for their size to get a little bit closer to the size of everybody else out there. But so far everybody's looking really great, and they're much happier kind of back here and out of the brooder box. But to help make sure that they're staying cool, because today's like 90, not 90, oh my gosh, it's like 70 degrees, 80 degrees. Lots of cold water, lots and lots and lots of cold water. I opened up the second window of this coop here, help keep airflow going. I'm making sure that the front door is propped open and just keeping airflow through here. It's pretty cool in here. It's probably only like 60 degrees in the coop. So these guys are pretty good as long as they have lots of fresh water. So that's what I just did, making sure they're good to go. They have some fresh ice cold water. Alrighty, you guys, that is everything I've got to talk about today, or I wanted to share with you guys today. I think I'm just going to save an orchard tour for after we actually put the vegetable garden in. I'll give you guys a full garden tour, orchard tour, all that stuff. Cleo and I are going to celebrate with a blue icy and wait for all the big kids to get home and hang out in the yard and relax the rest of the day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope wherever you guys are, you're having a fantastic day. I hope your gardens are coming together and you guys are also doing something that brings you joy today. I will catch you guys in another one. Bye.